Hello there, boxing fans around the world. Thank you for joining me once again here on Talkin Fight for another episode of Boxing News today. Let's start off with a few results that have come in. Over the weekend, we saw Christian Mbilli out of Canada absolutely pound his opponent, Nicholson. Unbeaten WBC number 1, rated WBA number 3, rated IBF number 4, WBO number 6, super middleweight. Christian Mbilli, 25-0, undefeated, 21 knockouts. Overpowered Nicholson. He's 26, 6-1 on Friday night, and that was held at the Casino Lac Ligny in Gatineau, Quebec, Canada. Mbilli dropped Nicholson in both rounds, 1 and 2. Mbilli finally forced Nicholson for the count in round number 4, and the time was 1 minute 56 seconds. Therefore, defending his WBC Continental and WBA international titles. And you can be assured he's going to go after Canelo next, along with a bunch of other people. NABF champ and WBC number 15 super lightweight Steve the Dragon Claggart, 36-7-2, 25 knockouts, dealt a one-sided 10-round beatdown of Carlos Sanchez. In a brawl, Claggart dropped Sanchez with a body shot in round number 4. Claggart floored Sanchez again with a headshot in round number 6. Another body shot knocked down in round 7. And the scores were 98-89, 99-88, and 99-88. And in a clash between unbeaten middleweights, local hero Alexandre Guamant, he's 9-0, 6 knockouts scored. Outscored Ulysses Rivera, who's now 8-1 over 8 rounds. So some good fighting to be had over in Gatineau, Quebec, Canada. Let's now move along to, across the pond, quite frankly. Rising Jordanian lightweight, Badr the Master Samreen. He's 9-0, 8 knockouts. Made a loud statement in the main event against veteran Jose Gonzalez, who's now 16-3-2 with 12 knockouts, in the inaugural event of the Rising Stars Arabia series, the first of its kind in the United Arab Emirates, UAE, and the Middle East and North Africa region. The milestone event, sanctioned by the Middle East Professional Boxing Commission, was promoted by AAM Sadiq Sports and sponsored by Department of Culture and Tourism in Abu Dhabi. That's the first professional boxer from Jordan. Samreen was a solid amateur boxer, highlighted by his bronze medal at the prestigious 2018 IBA Youth World Championships, but he moved his base to Dubai, where he turned pro because Jordan doesn't have proper boxing facilities for professionals. So there you go. Some good fighting there. Let's see if there's any more. Yes. The beat continued for undefeated cruiserweight Muhammad the Destroyer Balkash. He's now 26-0 with 23 knockouts. He lived up to his nickname, extending his win streak to 26 and his 23rd knockout against Musa Netgini. He's now 8-5. A native of Syria who fought out of Germany for a while, Balkash has won 14 straight by stoppage. Wow. Another undefeated Jordanian, Bashari Sabar, 7-0, captured the vacant WBC Youth Silver World Featherweight title. Wow. With an impressive 8-round unanimous decision over dangerous Mahmoud Charr. Local boxing commission overruled an apparent first-round stoppage of welterweight Sheldon Schultz, his pro debut, by Egyptian Olympian Maroon Mohamed Maholi, 2-0 near the end of round 1. Maholi dropped Schultz, but the commission declared the outcome a no contest because Maholi unintentionally punched Schultz when he was down on the canvas. Another Egyptian fighter, an Olympian, Youssef Karar, he's now 2-0, registered his first knockout as a professional boxer when heavyweight Mohammad Mazin was unable to continue after 2 rounds. Iranian welterweight Benjamin Moradjezed, 1-0, undefeated also, turned in auspicious pro debut, taking a dominant 6-round decision over previously unbeaten Rohat Chahari. He's now 4-1. Yusuf Ali out of Bahrain defeated featherweight Semugeni Alex by way of 4-round unanimous decision. And finally, middleweight Fahid Al-Khoury, 2-0, opened the show with a technical knockout over Ibrahim Jr. Lubuke, 0-2, midway through the opening round. Fantastic stuff out of Dubai. What is not fantastic stuff is this clash that we announced last week that is now not going to happen. ESPN has announced that plans for a fight for the vacant WBC lightweight title between Shakur Stevenson and Frank Martin is now off. A deal was reached between teams prior to a WBC purse bid, but Martin's camp reportedly rejected the contract. The title is vacant because former champ Devin Haney is moving up to challenge WBC super lightweight champ Regis Prograis, reportedly December 9th in San Francisco. The WBC released its new ratings, by the way, on Saturday, and there was some reshuffling at lightweight. Stevenson will face the top available contender for the vacant belt. So Shakur Stevenson's number 1, Frank Martin's number 2, Vasily Lomachenko's number 3, Isaac Cruz Jr. number 4, William Zepeda number 5, Edwin De Los Santos number 6, Jermaine Ortiz number 7, Shuichiro Yoshino number 8, Raymond Muritaya number 9, and number 10 is George Kambosos Jr. And believe me, Shakur Stevenson is a little bit upset and is absolutely claiming to be the most ducked fighter in the history of the sport of boxing. Truly. Speaking of rankings, let's move on to the new WBC heavyweight rankings. Bad news for former heavyweight champ Andy Ruiz Jr. and good news for unbeaten puncher Arslanbek Makhmudov, Russian fighting out of Canada. Ruiz, inactive since last September's win over Luis Ortiz, is now down to number 5, while Makhmudov, who last fought in July, is now up to number 3. So here are the full rankings. Don't know how long Tyson Fury is going to remain champ, but then it's followed by Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, Makhmudov, Frank Sanchez, Andy Ruiz Jr. at number 5, Jared Anderson number 6, F.A. Ajagba number 7, Dillian White number 8, Martin Bakole number 9, and Joseph Parker number 10. Now, unfortunately, with respect to these WBC latest rankings, it's come at a time when Anthony Joshua is potentially set to fight against Deontay Wilder, but those talks are at risk of collapsing as well, according to Eddie Hearn. As of late, there's been a shift in power when it comes to making big boxing bouts in Saudi Arabia, and it's left Joshua versus Wilder in limbo. Skills Challenge Entertainment, who you might recall, who Hearn had been negotiating with, has been replaced by a new entity that booked Tyson Fury's fight with Francis Ngannou. Everybody has agreed to terms, but until the money's put in place, the fight's not happening, said Hearn. He said there's a movement in management and ownership of boxing in Saudi Arabia, and it's up to them what they want to do. If they don't want to do Joshua Wilder, maybe it goes somewhere else. But it's one of the biggest fights in heavyweight boxing, said Eddie. Although he remains intent on booking a fight with Wilder, it seems like it's just a matter of time before he's forced to look at alternate options. The 44-year-old, who has worked with Joshua for decades, suggested his star client could face Filip Hrgovic or Andy Ruiz in December before revisiting his longtime rivalry with Deontay Wilder. So is that Andy Ruiz 3 fight possible? Let's have a look. The ongoing discussions surrounding a potential Deontay Wilder-Anthony Joshua fight in the Middle East have hit a roadblock, leaving Anthony Joshua's promoter Eddie Hearn to contemplate the next steps for his fighter. While members of Tyson Fury's camp have suggested that a Wilder-Joshua bout is dead, Hearn is waiting to see if there's still a chance for the fight to materialize. Hearn has repeatedly stated that the Joshua-Wilder fight has been agreed upon, including all terms, but emphasized until the money's put in place, the fight's not happening, which I just explained. And Hearn has also mentioned that Joshua will not wait indefinitely and is open to fighting in December if the Wilder bout cannot be finalized, and mentioned a few potential opponents for Anthony Joshua, including, as I've just mentioned, both Filip Hrgovic and Andy Ruiz. So while I'm not sure about Filip Pergovic because he's expressed interest in fighting Alexander Usyk, which kind of leaves Andy Ruiz as a potential opponent. And the two fighters, believe it or not, are currently tied at 1-1 in their previous encounters, with Ruiz handing Joshua a shocking defeat in their last fight, followed by Joshua's victory in the rematch. The possibility of a Joshua Ruiz trilogy may appeal to some fans, especially if Ruiz is in better shape and fully motivated for the fight, without a doubt. In upcoming heavyweight battling news, we see that Murat Gassiev, 30-1, 23 knockouts, is set to defend his WBA Intercontinental Heavyweight title against Sweden's Otto Wallin, 25-1, 14 knockouts. Swedish top heavyweight Otto Wallin is set to take on former unified cruiserweight champ Murat Gassiev in a significant bout on September 30th, 2023. The clash will unfold at the Regnum Karya Hotel in Turkey and will feature a 12-round contest for the WBA Intercontinental Heavyweight title. There you go, heavyweight fans. But I'm not stopped there. I'm going to continue with heavyweight. The WBA has recrowned a heavyweight champion who ruled from 2017 to 2021 without defending his belt once. The coronation of Mahmoud Charr means the title holder hasn't put it on the line in 6 years. He will do so in the coming months against one of heavyweight's boxing most controversial figures. Astonishingly, Charr won the title and did not put on line for over 3 years during that first stint. He was then stripped but fought the decision in court and won. Charr claimed the strap on November 25th, 2017. He defeated Alexander Usyk via 12-round unanimous decision over in Germany by lifting the little-regarded crown at the König Pilsner Arena. Charr put himself in the frame for some significant challenges to come. But the sad face is Charr didn't grace the ring again for over 3.5 years. His title didn't get up for grabs for 3 years and 2 months. His opponent, Usyk, competed 3 times in the interim. But before the 2019 Bryan order, remember Trevor Bryan, one of Don King's sables. Anyway, let's have a quick look here. After that 2019 Bryan order, Charr was locked in talks with Fres Aikido, a former number one contender who won a court case to fight the WBA regular belt despite being out of action since 2014. So this is really complicated. Legal battles eventually took Aikido an age in his pursuit, and by the time that fight could happen, the Big O was too old. Therefore, the WBA moved on to stipulate Charr must face Bryan. Finally, a deal was struck for 2020, despite Aikido previously challenging that ruling too. Don King paid an eye-watering $2 million in a Panama purse bid to stage the contest. As the boxing world held its breath that Charr would put the strap online once and for all, the coronavirus struck and put the brakes on again. The Aikido curse was passed on to Charr, keeping the WBA regular crown out of commission. Eventually, the WBA stripped Charr when his visa failed for a 2021 clash with Bryan in Miami. With Charr unable to perform at the show in South Florida, Don King, Charr Bryan's promoter, planned to proceed with changes to the scheduled headliner. The Hall of Fame promoter requested a secondary WBA heavyweight title fight between Bryan and WBC champ Bermane Stiverne in a petition to the WBA, but that request was granted, and Bryan won and lost it dismally to Daniel Dubois in his first defense. The belt was supposed to be out of existence after Dubois faced Alexander Usyk last month. It wasn't. WBA chiefs say they were forced to give Charr the title back, negating the reigns of both Bryan and Dubois. To call it a mess would be a polite expression. The WBA now has an excuse to keep the title for at least 2 years. Charr will defend against Jarrell Miller. He will then line behind Filip Pergovic and the winner of Zhilei Zhang versus Joe Joyce 2 for a shot at Usyk in the future. Miller, who tested positive for the most banned substances from one sample, served out a 3.5-year ban before returning to action in 2022. Is that the wildest story ever? Okay, I guess boxing can do one better. Teofimo Lopez has been elevated to WBO Super Champion after a request from his camp. The World Boxing Organization released a lengthy statement confirming Teofimo Lopez as the new WBO Super Champion at 140 pounds. I will go no further. Just Google it. O'Shaquie Foster will defend his WBC junior lightweight title against Rocky Hernandez on October 28th in Cancun, Mexico. Matchroom Boxing has announced this on Thursday that Foster, who fights out of Houston, won the 130-pound belt with a decision over Ray Vargas in February. Hernandez, a Mexican native, will vie for his first title. And finally, my friends, it's good to note that Callum Walsh, who's been clobbering people over here in North America, has won the NABF Newcomer of the Year award. In his first trip to the Sunshine State, the fastest rising star in boxing, King Callum Walsh, was awarded the prestigious North American Boxing Federation Newcomer of the Year award on Friday afternoon at their 53rd annual convention in the Caribe Royal Hotel in Orlando. The 22-year-old native out of Cork, Ireland, said, "It's a big honor to be recognized so early in my career for my achievements. I'm very grateful to the NABF and will continue to make them proud as their champion carrying the green belt." Good for them. Well, boxing fans, thanks very much once again for listening, staying tuned. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we'll see you later on at 4 p.m. Eastern Time when I join Mike Orr for his show, Knuckle Up. Thank you.